Hey, everyone. We are live. I'm here with Megan on this beautiful Thursday. Well, I don't know if it's beautiful where you're at. We just got
It
snow. It's
probably is.
snowing right now.
I'm not gonna lie. I live in Arizona. Yesterday we had a rain day, and it was like, what is this? And today it's back to being sunny. So it's good
Uh,
here.
I need some vitamin D. But we're here because we help women win in their life, one healthy habit at a time. And today we are speaking about like lifestyle. Okay, so for those of you that don't know, we are both full-time stay-at-home moms. I was a former math teacher. Megan was a former hairstylist. We worked sun up to sundown until we found an opportunity that gave us some freedom. And if you own your own business, you may know what we're talking about. Maybe you're not able to do it full-time yet. Maybe you're still working part-time, but there's power and there's freedom in starting your own business. So we want to know first, as you hop on, where are you watching from? What time is it for you? And if you own a business, drop it below. Like, let's do a little bit of women empowerment here. Like, drop your business below. You can advertise here. Good morning. I see some comments rolling in. But we're here to just talk to you about how you can empower women in business and maybe give you a different outlook if you're not in business on why we do the things that we do.
Yes.
Sound good? So let's start out by saying, hey, girl, or hey, babe. If you've ever gotten a message that starts with that, drop a 1 below. Okay. Or how about even worse? Hey, name.
the copy and paste.
Have you ever sent, Megan, have you ever sent a message that said, hey, name, because you forgot to put the name in?
I'll be honest. I don't think that one I've done, but I know I've accidentally done the wrong name, or we fail forward, right? I mean, I've done a lot of dumb things. I still do on a daily basis, like a lot of dumb messages.
Right. And why do we forget to change the name, or why do we put hey name? And I even got an invite to a party that somebody was doing online, and it was like, send this to all of your friends, and then quotations, hey name, blah blah blah, I'm doing this party, da 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 da. And I was like, I messaged the girl back and I'm like, oh, you sweet soul. You're actually supposed to only send what is in the quotations. Like,
Right.
don't send the other stuff,
So
and, go ahead.
Well, I just want to insert this plug here for anyone that either gets a message or that's sending a message like that. Show some grace, people. That when those are happening, it's because they're trying to learn something that's going to better their life. You know what I'm saying? They haven't gotten to that point where they learn how to speak for themselves. They're scared to death, and they're just following the things that they're learning. They'll find their own voice, like you and I have. Just give them some grace.
Right. And so like why do we copy paste messages? And I mean, let's be honest, if one's a copy paste message, like if someone's being like genuine and they only send it to you. And so we just kind of want to shed some light on this for everybody. So like you said, people are scared. They don't know how to talk to people. They don't know what to say. It is very intimidating starting a brand new conversation with someone you've never talked to before. I mean, think about the very first job that you had. My very first job was at Subway, and they had scripts at Subway. Welcome to Subway. What kind of bread would you like? 6-inch or foot long? What kind of meat? Like they had scripts for me to go through at Subway that made me feel more confident. And I followed them exactly, even at the checkout when it's like, would you like to make this into a meal and add some chips and a drink with this? And they were like very, very procedural, very systematic to set me up for success. And then eventually I was able to like ad lib. Is that what you say? Ad lib on my own?
Yeah.
I was going to say bad.
Make it your own. Yeah.
But, I mean, like add in my own flair, maybe go out of order here or there, do multiple things at once as I got better at it. Right. And I'm sure for you, the first time you cut someone's hair, what do you say?
You guys, I got out of beauty school. I was still 18 years old. So when you're standing there, you're trying to build a clientele, and people are like, so how long have you been doing hair? And I'm like, they don't want to trust me to cut their hair or color their hair. So I had to, I remember them telling me, adding your time at beauty school, because technically you did hair in beauty school. So like I would have to, I mean, seriously, people ask me, so how old are you? How long have you been doing hair? somehow I did it, and thankfully I knew what I was doing and stuff. But you're just like, oh my gosh. And I mean, I get sweaty. I remember that like it was yesterday. Just being afraid of, what do I say? I mean? It's just like, and
You're cutting their hair for an hour or coloring for an hour. Like, what are you going to talk about? Like, and like, even when I know I'm meeting up with people for lunch, whether I know them or maybe I don't know them, like they're people in my church or neighbors or something like that, I still Google talking points. Like before I went to conference with all of my teammates, some I had never met before, I was like, hey, what are some talking points in case if things get awkward or quiet or weird? Like, what can I say, or what kind of jokes could I ask?
Can I just give a to those of you that think that those of us that do these businesses via social media are extroverts and are great with conversation and just outgoing, that is actually the complete opposite. So if you have that knowledge, in fact, I talk to people on a daily basis. They're like, I'm not very outgoing. I'm super introverted. I'm like, guess what? So are most of us. And so of us, and we're afraid and we don't know what to say half the times. It's that wanting more and wanting better for ourselves that drives us. The fear and the extrovert part kind of goes, or the introverted part kind of goes in the back seat instead of the driving seat. So I mean, that you made that point right there. Like,
yeah. And so let's talk about when you get one of these messages. Like I said, I got one that I was like, oh girl, good try, but no. And so what did I do? Did I just leave her on red? Did I say no? First off, I helped her and I said, hey, we want to change this for any messages that you have moving forward. But what can you guys say to people when they send you a message where maybe there's a mistake? Like, kindly, I would help them, right? Without being rude or anything like that. Because if you're like, these people are literally like putting themselves out on a limb. They have so much fear, so much anxiety. And if you come back and are just like a crappy person to them, they're going to quit. They're going to give up. And they started this for a reason. They started this to make a difference in their lives. And so I think like we need to empower women and be there to support them and help them along the way and let them learn. But also, if let's say they send you a message that, it's just fine the way that it is, but you're like, no, I'm not interested. Or, maybe you had a bad experience, or maybe you've tried it before and it didn't work, or maybe you're currently trying it now, so you don't need it. Or what are some other reasons why people wouldn't respond? Can you think of anything?
I mean, I think a lot of it is just they're not interested. I mean, I think that comes a lot. Or like for me, I get a lot of people that message me about doing Norwex and stuff like that. My sister-in-law, she sells it. So like, it's not like I wish I could support everybody that I knew that was with that company or other companies. I have other like people that are like in my closest group that are, family members and stuff that are in those things. So it's like, of course, it's not that I don't want to, support you. And that's, I feel like another thing is there are ways to support people without having to buy from them.
Yeah. And we'll get into that. Yeah, we'll definitely get into that. But I love that you said that, because I forgot about that one. Like, I mean, we all know a lot of people that sell different things. And so if someone's coming in your inbox asking if you're willing to check out products or host a party for them or interested in the business, and you already have somebody. And so you guys, like, the best thing that you can do is just respond to these people and say like, no, thanks, I'm not interested, or I've already tried it before, or not right now, or I already have someone that sells this, but thank you like for thinking of me. And just respond back, because I send out a lot of messages every day, because we're going to talk about that too, why it's important to plant those seeds. But like when people don't respond to me, like even when I send like a happy birthday message, or like a, hey, how are you? Or your haircut looks cute, or I love your outfit, and people don't respond, then that's what makes it awkward. Like, we're not hunters looking for our kill as far as like who's going to be our customer.
I feel like, sorry. I just feel like so many people have this like wall up, like every time we send a message, even just like a connection, that we're immediately going to follow up with, so do you want to buy a product? No, we literally just want to connect with you and have friendships. Like, that is it. Like, don't be afraid to be like, thank you so much, this is what I'm doing, whatever. And it's okay. Just have a conversation like a normal person, right?
Yeah. And that's what makes it awkward, is like when people don't respond, Like, I would rather someone just tell me like, no, thanks, I'm not interested right now, than like keep leaving me on red and not responding. And then I run into you at the grocery store and then you just pretend like I didn't ever message you or something. Like, I don't know. I'm a very literal person, and I don't remember hardly anything, but I do remember when people like don't treat me like a person. Like, I would never just leave somebody on red, like unless if I forgot, like maybe I opened it up and forgot to respond or something because I was busy in the moment. But like, that's what makes it awkward. The no doesn't make it awkward. It's the I'm going to just not respond to you because I don't respect you as a person. That's the way that I kind of take it as.
Right. Well, and my thing is like if I open and forget to respond, I'll call myself out and be like, yeah, that was my bad. I shouldn't have done that. Like, I mean, it's just be real. And I'm not so literal, but I'm very genuine. I very much speak from my heart. That's just kind of something I've always been. So it's like when you send somebody a heartfelt message, or you muster up the courage to send them a message because you see something in them, and there's literally like crickets, it does kind of hit you here. And I know you can't always lead with your emotions and stuff like that, but you're like, especially time after time after time, you're like, okay, well, maybe you just don't want to be friends with me. And right. That's okay. But that's okay.
That's okay too.
Not everyone's for you, and that's okay too. But that's the vibe you're giving, and maybe that's the vibe you want to give.
Mm-hmm.
So and if that's not the vibe you want to give, then just give a nice little message back.
Right. Okay, so that's tip number 1 for everybody. Okay, so whether you're in business or people that are in business, know that we're all not perfect. We all get left on red. We all start at start. We're sending the copy pasted messages because we don't know what to say ourselves, but we're trying our best. And the more messages that we send, the better we're going to get, the more personal and comfortable it's going to become. So give each other grace. Okay, now let's talk about the no thanks, I'm not interested, and why it's important that we message and reach out to people. Okay, so I'll have you share kind of your story on this first.
Well, to be honest with you, it's because like somebody like me, I was actually very closed off to the idea of doing an online business. I worked, you and I talk about this all the time. We worked long hours. We were away from our families. We wanted to be home with our kids. And I actually looked at other options because I was closed off to this. I looked down so many rabbit holes of what I could do to not have to work nights and weekends, even though I loved my job, and to be home more. And nothing paid me enough and gave me that flexibility. I would still have to put my kids in daycare. This is when they were younger, obviously, and stuff like that. So if somebody didn't just say, hey, you know what, I see something in you, would you want to give this a try? Like, it was like finally something goes, oh, okay, well, maybe I can do this. Well, this is somebody just like me. Why can't I do this? And so here's the thing. On top of it, I didn't know any. So I called myself out because I was barely on social media. I didn't like social media. I barely had any friends on social media. And so just having somebody have that confidence in me gave me, opened my eyes to at least try. Because really this checked off once we got in conversation, this checked off all the things I was looking for.
Yeah.
Here I am a little over 5 years later.
Grateful that somebody asked you.
Right. And so that's another thing I want to say. If somebody's reaching out to you, take that as a compliment. Even if you're not interested or you're not open, just be at least for me, if I'm reaching out to you to talk about the business, or if I'm even about any products, I know what I've gotten back in my life from my journey. And I just want to see if I can benefit anyone else like I have.
Mm-hmm.
And if it doesn't, that's fine. And same thing with the business. If this isn't for you, but take it as a compliment when somebody's reaching out to you.
Yep. Agree. And I'll tell you with my story, I was seeing all these before and after pictures. I was seeing all this stuff on social media, and I was the biggest shade thrower. I was the biggest hater. I was like, well, look at the way that they're standing, and look at the angle, and look at this, and look at that. And I was just hating on people's, real people's results. Okay. That's how broken I was. And I remember this day I was sitting in bed with my husband, and I showed him this picture, and I was like, yeah, right, whatever. And when I went to scroll up, I accidentally hit the like button. And my friend messaged me and she said, oh my gosh, Tamika, thanks for liking on my post, do you have some weight loss goals that you're trying to hit? I'd love to tell you more. And I said, no, thanks. I'm not interested. I told her no. because I had grand plans that I was going to lose it the right way. I signed up for this half marathon. Summer vacation was about to be coming. So I'd have all the time in the world to work out and lose this baby weight. And I continued to watch her the whole entire summer. But now when I was seeing those posts, I was like, oh, I have that. I have that. I look like that. Maybe
Yeah.
it could work for me. But I'm running right now and I'm eating healthy. And so I don't need it. But it made me look at the post differently because she asked. Before I was hating, now I'm seeing me in what she's sharing. And you know what happened the end of the summer when I didn't lose my weight? I messaged her. Because she was so consistent. She posted every single day. She showed up. She was getting results herself. She was still excited about it. So I messaged her and I became a customer. And then at the end of my customer program terms, I was turning off my subscription order and she asked if I wanted to do the business. I didn't leave her on red. I said, no, thanks. I'm not interested. I had a real job. I was teaching. I was coaching soccer. I was busy. I was getting a paycheck every month. Like, wasn't interested. But now I start looking at her going on vacations. I start looking with her at the park with her son, making all these friends, having so much fun, being able to work from her phone from home. And all of a sudden I thought, what if that is for me? And I would have never thought that if she wouldn't have asked. And I told her no, but she didn't give up on me. You know, she stayed consistent. We stayed in touch. She kept, sending me those nice messages, just making sure that she was in my inbox, that I was continuing to see her stuff. And I'm so, so thankful. And, she quit the business about a year after I joined. But I'm so grateful for her and for her willingness to ask me and still be my friend, even after I said no. And here I am almost 9 years later, still in business, having this freedom because she asked. And so that's the power of ask. That's why we do it, because ultimately this could change lives. And I know that we're all at different levels as far as if we're like blocked off from it, but like you said, it checks all the boxes.
Right. And for me, it wasn't even like the trips and all that stuff. It was literally the time, you guys. It was the time. Those little moments at the park. I love my label as a mom taxi. Like, don't get me wrong. Some days I'm like, I'm so sick of being in the car, but I love those moments. So it wasn't even these huge things that I was after. Well, they're huge to me, but it was the time. And I know, like, this is kind of off the subject a little bit, but like you said, everyone's like, I'm too busy. I'm too busy. This is what else can you find that you can do in 15, 20-minute increments and create an extra stream of income that will create more time? You start off being jam-packed, but all of a sudden you're like, hey, you know what? I actually have more time.
Yep. So true. I got chills.
Oh, it is. I'm like, I can't believe I'm one of these people. Like, I'm here. Like, I'm home with my children. They're on spring break right now. Drive me nuts some days, but at the same point, I love them. I love when they're home.
Yeah. And like, we didn't even know each other a year ago. I mean, well, you followed me, but I didn't even know that you existed until you reached out to me. But like, that's also the power of social media. That's also the power of starting conversations. It's the power of sharing your journey and sharing what you're doing.
It's so crazy. I literally was talking to one of my friends on my team yesterday, and it's hard when the people that you're close to don't always feel like they're the most supportive. But one thing I will tell you right now, you will meet the most amazing people if you trust this process and keep going, because I was literally like, you're one of those people to me. Like, you are, Tamika, but same thing with my friend that is in the business. It's like, I would have known her I met her through me doing my business. And now it's like, there's so many good people that come from it that are going to be in your life that you maybe don't know yet, or will know, or already do know, and can say, yeah, I know those people, and it's pretty cool.
Yeah. I love it. And, people don't start this because they're like, I don't know enough people. I don't know anyone that would support me. And I'm like, oh, you're looking at this totally wrong. It's, oh my gosh, the possibility of the people that you're going to meet is incredible.
Right.
Okay. So last thing to kind of touch base on is, okay, so you get a message, you're not interested, or you've got a friend who already sells, other ways that you're able to support and empower women in business. If you're not interested in starting your own business and you're not interested in their products, but you still want to cheer them on and encourage them. Let's just ping pong back and forth. You give an idea, I'll give an idea until we run out of ideas.
Well, I mean, like or commenting, even if we message you off that, it's still okay. Like I literally have a friend that's just like, hey, just so you know, I know it helps out when I like and comment. So I'm always sending you love on your posts. She's like, I'm not interested at the time, but maybe in the future. I'm like, awesome. I love you so much. Thank you. That was awesome. I mean, and it means so much that she cares enough to do that for me.
Yep. That's plenty. And then let us know, because like, nope, on a call.
I know. They wait till as much. Come here. You want to say hi? All right. Well, then I'll talk to you when I'm done.
That's my son too. Every time he's like standing right there, I'm like, if you're gonna come interrupt me, you got to get on camera. Okay, yep. Come on over. I love that. Yeah, just liking it and commenting. And then if you're not interested, just let them know. I'm not interested, but like I'm still here to boost your stuff. One thing that I would say is referrals. Referrals are huge. So you may not be interested or you may not need something, but you're going to hear people like your friends want things or need things. Like, maybe you go hiking with people and they're like, oh my gosh, my knees hurt so bad. Or, someone's complaining about their weight or that they're not getting sleep or they have so much low energy or bad cramps. I was at roller derby practice and everyone was talking about their cycles. And I was just like, oh my gosh, I have something for you. But I didn't want to be the salesy person because I sell it. But like, if you know anybody who's experiencing some of the symptoms or things that we talk and post about, be like, hey, my friend Megan actually has something. Do you want me to get you in contact with her? Right. Referrals are great, especially because you video right now know people who could benefit from what we have.
Right. And that's the thing. It's referrals. And, this is a shameless plug here for if I can do this, anyone can, when you got a kid that doesn't want to cooperate. But that's the thing. You might always, with referrals, there may be always somebody. And I've had people say, I have a friend that is interested in this. Can you reach out to them? Great. And you know why? Because hopefully they trust me enough to know that I'm here to try to help somebody, not just to sell them a product. Yep. But referrals are huge. So thank you for all of you that do that for us on a monthly basis, daily basis.
And sometimes like even just putting a post up on your wall, like if you don't care, some people are like some people have told me like, no, I don't want to post like products on my wall that I haven't tried, or I just want to keep my posts like family stuff. But so many of you guys are sharing all this other stuff. Like if you're willing to share about our businesses, that helps so much.
And why we do that is just like when I first started doing hair, I handed out a business card. Hey, if you liked your haircut, hand this out. Pretty soon, I didn't even have to give them the card. People would just, say, here, this is where you find her, and they would refer, people back to me. It's the same thing when you're running a social media business. I don't have a card to hand you through the screen, so by sharing a post for us, that is basically just like a business card. And we're not asking anyone to say, yes, I've tried this when you haven't. Like, don't ever do that. Be real. It's just, hey, I'm sharing this for a friend.
Yep. So cool. All right. Anything else you can think of?
I guess that, I don't do parties. I personally don't do parties. But I know there are other people in other companies that do. Like, obviously hosting one of those is always helpful as well. I mean, those make my palms sweat, to be honest with you. Like, that's one of the reasons why I like doing what we do. But they work it just depends. Everybody's different in how they want to build their business. And so that is another great way to do that. And I'll be honest, like, again, before I got into this, I was one of those people, I'm like, I don't want to do that. But it's like, you know what, even if you can't afford to buy the products, you could host one of those.
Yep.
And it's okay to be honest and say, you know what, either I can't afford it or I don't necessarily want it, but you can still be a vessel to help, them like get their word out. That's it. I just feel like it's okay to say no. You can be kind and say no.
Yeah.
Exactly. And that, we need to receive it okay, and people need to give it okay. Like it's back and forth. No's not. I don't really sweat it when somebody says no, unless they're rude. Because there's no room for that, right? There's just no room.
Yeah, there's no reason to be rude. And sometimes I have had people be very rude, and I just say, that's no problem. It sounds like you're having a bad day. I hope it gets better, and I don't mean that maliciously, right. But I've had people that have come back and they're like, you know what? I did treat you poorly because I was having bad days. So you never know what people are going through on both sides. So just,
Exactly.
even if you do receive, something that doesn't feel good, know that they're probably going through something, and there's no reason to blast anybody or block. Sometimes you do have to block people who are just super nasty. But I think as women, we should empower each other and really help set each other up for success. And so, you can always like and comment on our posts. You can always share things for us, host parties. Don't be afraid to tell us no. Yes, we do use scripts just to help set new people up for success. And hopefully now that makes a little bit more sense to you why we do it. What do you want to end with, Megan?
I just want to add something to that. Also, one way you can support people is by not trash talking on people's posts either. If you don't have anything nice to say, just move on. You don't know like what that person is trying to do for themselves. Like you can have those thoughts, that's fine. But this is why like social media gets a negative vibe, is because people hide behind it and they put on these negative comments, and it's like, I don't have time to go through and comment negatively on people's things, nor do I want to fill my day with that. So that, I mean, maybe that is like hits a chord with some people, but seriously, just don't say it. Don't be mean. Be nice.
I love it. All right, you guys, hopefully you found some value. Be sure that you are following both Megan and me on all the platforms, just first and last name, easy to find us. If you haven't already, be sure to click the links in our bio, check out the different free resources and tips that we have to offer you, and we will see you on the next one. Bye.
Yeah, bye.